Today I'm going to be showing you how I shot this with Profoto B1. Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Mo and I'm a car photographer from Bahrain. If it's your first time around this channel and you'd like to learn all about car photography, then go ahead and subscribe now so you don't miss out on all the cool stuff that I create every week. Now, if you've been following me on Instagram, you would know that I've sold my Sony a7R II, and I got a ton of people asking me about what is my next camera is going to be. Now, if you're interested to know what I'm gonna get next, then go ahead and look up the post on Instagram. I'm going to be discussing it right there. Alright, so before jumping into Photoshop, let me show you or walk you through the images that I took that led to the final image. What you see right now is the base image that I've used, and I've posted something similar about 4 months ago when I shot the Golf GTI Club Sport. That video has more information about the setup and how I shot it and the post process behind it. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Don't forget to check it out after this video. So this is the main setup, and these are the camera settings. I shot it with an ISO of 250, about focal length of 50, an f-stop of 6.3, and 1/3 of a shutter speed. Now I did a bit of basic adjustments in Lightroom. Now this is the shot after the adjustments, and this is before and after. And I really just did a very simple adjustments. I increased the exposure by half a stop and raised the shadows a bit. Now I couldn't get the front shot similar to the Golf GTI one with one take. And the reason why I couldn't do the same, and I'm assuming that the TTRS is a bit wider, has more curvatures to the side, and maybe the position of the strobe was a bit different. Now you can see this is the setup. I had the Profoto B1 on a strip box mounted on top of my Manfrotto light stand. So let me show you the 3 different shots that I took to complement this shot. I took this one basically because I wanted to show more of the quattro at the bottom of the car. This one was a bit filled with shadows and I couldn't get it. And thank God I did take this one because I was able to comp it in later on in Photoshop. The other 2 exposures basically are following the same setup. I had the Profoto B1 right there, and I illuminated the left side of the car, and I did the same thing to the left side of the car. Now there is one additional, I'd say, exposure, and that's for the front headlight, which was comped later on in Photoshop. Alright, so enough of this. Let's jump into Photoshop and show you what I've done there. Alright, now that we're in Photoshop, it's very simple and very straightforward. I've used masks like I always do, but let me show you exactly how it was done. Alright, so the first thing that I did is I actually stacked all the layers on top of each other and changed the blending mode to lighten. Now, why lighten? It's quite obvious. I just wanted to show the illuminated part within that layer. Well, plus, of course, I used mask to remove anything that I didn't want within that image, like the soft box or the strip box that would appear there. Alright, so let me show you how it's done. So this is the base layer, the one we started off with, and you can see I've added a mask. This is before the mask. There was the strip box down here, and I had to mask it out. Very simple, very easy and straightforward. And then I've also created an empty layer, and I used the clone stamp tool to clean up the image. And now if you can see part of me over here. That's my shoes. And there was like this stain down here that I wanted to get rid of, and so I created this layer to remove anything that I needed to remove from the base layer. Alright, so moving onwards, I added the right side exposure and set the blending mode to lighten, and of course I had a mask. You can see this is how it looks before the mask, and I wanted to sort of control the spell of the light over there with the mask. Alright, so the next layer is actually where the Quattro one sits. It's I think the simplest one of them all. I just needed to basically mask in this portion of the car or of the layer for it to be visible. This is how it used to look, and this is how it looked after. So let me just show you the mask before and after. Very simple, very easy. And of course, I did the same thing to the left side of the car. I've added that layer, set its blending mode to lighten. Now if I remove the mask, you would see that there's a light spill over here. And then of course control that light spill with a mask. And then of course I added the front headlight shots. And this is how they look without a mask. And I've just masked in that portion of the car. Now I do have the habit of creating empty layers, and now I'm here and I'm not sure what I've used that for. Maybe nothing. Maybe I just left it there and I forgot about it. And the last thing that I did in this workflow is actually I've created a stamp visible layer, which I've merged all the layers into one layer. And then I have applied a camera raw filter just to add a bit of tonal contrast and I think a bit of sharpening, and that's pretty it. Alright YouTube, we've reached the end of this tutorial. I hope that was helpful. Don't forget to check out the Golf GTI video. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Now, I have to admit, it feels so weird that I don't have a camera that I can shoot with. The only camera I'm left with is the A7S with a wide lens. And I can't wait until they release the camera. By now, you should actually have guessed what the camera is. Now, if you think you have a guess, leave me a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to check out that post on Instagram. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.